Hopefully, it connects with no problem. Do you guys see it? Assassin?
I don't even have the Twitch page up. Just give me 1 second.
Jesus, dude.
Still says offline. Nope, we're live. We're good.
We're live? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Four Guys with Quarters podcast. Special interview today. Not quite a podcast episode, but we have a special guest with us who we really love from Zoink Games. We love this developer. We're so happy to finally get him on to talk about their latest creation. We have Klaus, the CEO and creative director and mastermind of all things at Zoink Games. Welcome, Klaus. Thanks for coming on.
Hi there. Thanks. It's good to be here. Excited.
We've got the usual schmoes. I won't even introduce them. You guys all probably recognize them anyway. So we'll just get right on with the interview. I know we're starting a little later than we would have liked, so we'll get right into the questioning. So Klaus, just tell us really quick about like the company Zoink Games. Tell us like maybe a little bit about like how your company is different than like other indie companies and how you've grown from the days of, Stick It to the Man to where you guys are right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what's different from other indie companies that we're actually quite, in a way, I wouldn't even call it an indie company that much more anymore because we are quite large company for being indie developers. We are almost 18 guys and girls working here now. Well, we are 18, not almost.
Nice.
And yeah, we kind of started out with doing a lot of sort of mix between doing our own projects and sort of work for hire, trying to pick up projects from other companies. So it was a strange mix between doing, advertisement games, music videos, all sorts of weird stuff mixed up, and trying to get by basically. And then with Stick It to the Man was our first real big console project where we sort of had like a mini hit, I could call it, for us, it was a big deal.
A mini hit, yeah. For us, it was a big deal too. All of us loved it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, we told everybody about it. It was a great game. I mean, we'll talk about a little bit more about Stick It to the Man later in depth. But I mean, just for me, I wrote it off just because of like how it looked, and then I played it and saw more of how it looked in the actual game, and I was like, this art style is spot on for what they're trying to go after here. It's really, really good. Really good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, it's one of those projects where everything just turned out perfect,
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, also for us, the way it was developed, how everything turned. But the company's basically, started with just me, and then slowly growing from me to 2 guys to 3 guys, and then more and more, and then it went back a little bit. We were just me again, and a bit more came back. And I mean, I've been working with Zoink for like, I think 15 years or something like that.
Oh
so
wow!
It's my it's basically my life.
It's your baby, right, Klaus?
It's my baby, yeah.
It's your baby.
It's my teenager.
You're a teenager at this point. Yeah, not even a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys kind of. It's interesting you say you're not really an indie developer anymore because with Stick It to the Man, you kind of weren't able to publish that yourselves, right? You guys went through Ripstone to publish it, and we love Ripstone too, so we're not knocking them, but
yeah. No, but they're a great publisher, especially for indies, definitely,
So that kind of going through Ripstone got you on the map and was able to let you guys grow to, such a big company you are today. So
we had released a couple of like iPhone games before, and I've been working with games before, which are like through other companies, of course. I did actually work in the U.S. for a while when I was younger for a company called Shine Entertainment. Where I did worked on big games like Into the Matrix and Sacrifice, other sort of big games at that time. But that's a long time ago. That was in the 90s, but definitely Stick It to the Man was like a big milestone for the company. Yeah.
Now, when you guys came up with Stick It to the Man, like how long in development was it for, and how did you guys even think of that idea?
It's strange, long, sort of weird thing that it started out with actually at that point I had sort of quit games because I was tired of it, because it was just at that point it was basically just triple A games that worked. There was really no indie sort of scene at that time, you know. And it wasn't very easy to self-publish at all, you know. So I sort of quit the games business. I was doing sort of short animation and music videos, and then I did like a short animation test, which has a character that looks just like Ray from Stick It to the Man, basically. But I think without the hair. But
Nice. Yep.
same T-shirt, body shape, and sort of animated that sort of goofy, you know, paper cutout character way. And I was kind of looking for a way, how can I do animation really cheap and quickly, you know, because I just wanted to do something, you know, as usual, you have no money, you have no time, anything, like just how do you get something done? So when I always thought it'd be cool to take that style into a game. And then I had another idea, which was more sort of like an art project, where I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if you could just sit? It was more like, would you sit on a bus and just listen to everybody's thoughts on a bus, you know, and see what everybody thinks about what their problems are, you know? So it's very sort of arty, you know, not really a game, you know.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, maybe we could do an adventure game where you could mind read people and figure out what they've done. I think I saw it was like a stupid movie with Mel Gibson where he could read people's minds and stuff like that. Maybe you know about this one. Probably some people can recognize this. Anyway, and I just started by combining those two and then sort of slowly turning that into sort of a game project. So it was and it started out with me actually first doing sort of like a trailer without any gameplay at all, just story and voiceover and the music from the music that we have in the game also now. And just sort of trying to put the concept first together. And I had this video or story video lying around that I showed to people for almost like 2.5 years, showed to publishers, sort of started putting a little bit of game demo together, showed a little bit more, but nobody was interested. And I was kind of like, I was this close to actually trying to run a Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I had put the whole Kickstarter video together, filmed the guys. You know, we had like a lot of money into it, also. You know, or at least a lot of time. You know.
Yeah.
And I wanted to present it after the summer because I was like really tired. I said, okay, let's go back after the summer and see if we can get money through Kickstarter. But then during the summer, Ripstone called and said, "Oh, we got some money now. We want to do your project now." Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like how it was done. So I think it was a long sort of process to get it up and running, but once we had the green light, it was a very quick development time. It was like done in about 10 months actually, so it was very fast.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I know. I think out of the four of us, Klaus, I think Assassin. So we call each other by our Xbox names. That's how we met. So
that's cool. No problem.
So I think Assassin it was the biggest fan of Stick It to the Man. Wouldn't you say, Assassin?
Yeah, it was definitely a great game. I was really surprised because it launched on PlayStation Plus games for whatever month. I'm like, this game looks weird. It's not going to be good. And then I played it. I'm like, wow. I told all these guys. And they're like, no.
Yep.
Good.
If it weren't for that man right there, Klaus, we probably would have never played it. And we did play it, and then we became instant fans of Zoink games. It's just so different, you know. It is a platformer. It's a puzzle platformer, but like it's just so different. Just like how you have to find all the clues and who's ever seen, you know, a hand come out of a brain that's in a guy's head? Like, who's ever seen that? You know? So
yeah. It's funny. It's also funny how I like the way people, because like with PlayStation Plus, for example, of course that was a great thing for us because we got a little bit of money from Sony for that, you know. Mm-hmm. And you get a lot of PR and all that. But there's a thing about PlayStation Plus that everybody who gets a game that they don't know about from before, and they get it on PlayStation Plus, they're basically like, oh, come on, what is this? This is kind of free I call it a cornflakes game, you know? It's like one of those toys you get in a cornflakes box. Shut up, this crap. You know, I pay for this, you know? And there's like a thing about it. It's like you feel like as soon as you get it for free, it's probably shit then, you know? So it's nice to be that kind of dark horse that sort of surprises you, you know? So,
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of these smaller companies, and at that point, you guys were smaller, so a lot of these smaller companies, would have never been heard of unless they got, their game out there for free. And then once they do, the successive stuff becomes popular and they just are able to grow. I think it's a great program, even though you're right. The stigma is that it's free. So I like that cornflakes thing. I love that. I'm going to use that from now on if that's all right.
not a problem.
Yeah. That's a good way to explain it. Any of you guys have any questions about Stick of the Man before we move on to Zombie Vikings?
Will we see a sequel?
Sorry?
Will we see a sequel or anything?
So the thing is about the Stick It to the Man is that I actually don't own the IP since, which is a little bit annoying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about going with a publisher and having somebody else pay for it, is that you sort of have to give away everything to get your dream done.
Sure, yeah.
So I can't basically say, I'm going to do it, you know? Maybe even if I wanted to, and I have to still ask Ripstone, and Ripstone has to agree to it, and of course, and I'm sure Ripstone wouldn't do it without me, because they're super nice, and they really respect us as a developer, you know? But it's always like, okay, should I do it? Because then they would have to take a big chunk of the money, or there's always this kind of thing. I mean, I love the idea, but I also do love creating new things, and that's what corresponds on to actually being creative. If you built on something old, it always feels a bit like you're stuck in it. And a lot of people have a lot of expectations that it has to be this and that way, you know. I still would like to do it at some point, but right now I can tell you that we are working on something that's quite similar to Stick It to the Man, and it's something I wanted to do right after Stick It to the Man, but I wanted to wait a little bit to see if it was. See, when we released Stick It to the Man, we weren't really sure that it was going to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, we thought like, okay, a lot of people were talking about it as an adventure game, and they were basically, oh my god, adventure games, it's never going to sell, you know.
Right.
Nobody's going to like it. It's just going to be weird. So we kind of directly jumped on to Zombie Vikings because we thought. Well, not directly. What we did was we did actually a demo of another game, which I wanted to do directly. We did that demo, and then we decided, okay, we're going to jump onto Zombie Vikings because I feel like Zombie Vikings is something that might be broader, might be easy to, you know, for a lot of people to enjoy because it's just like more normal.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Now,
oh, sorry. Go ahead. No,
yeah, I know that I basically decided that we're going to try to do something that is, you know, a little bit more similar to Stick It to the Man. So I think you're going to like the next one. I can't really tell you about it yet.
Sure.
I don't want it to come out the wrong way, but I'm sure you're going to. If you like Stick It to the Man, I'm pretty sure you're going to like this a lot too.
Hopefully, I can see it at PAX in a couple months, right, Klaus?
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right. You know, I think with Stick It to the Man, like you said, like, you know, if it were just, you know, an adventure, then maybe people wouldn't really go for it as much because of how weird it was. But I think throwing in that puzzle aspect is really what got me onto it. You know, I finding all the parts, having to talk to all the different people in certain order in order to get the parts, you know, filling in the blanks. I think that's what really captured me. And I think puzzle games right now are more popular than they've been in a long time. I think a lot of puzzle games are coming out right now, so I think, in a way, like Stick It to the Man was like a little trendsetter in a way, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. It's good. I don't really like to call it an adventure game, but I do think it is an adventure game, but it's more like a puzzle adventure, I would say. You know?
Right.
And there's the platforming, all that stuff, too.
Yeah.
What separates you guys apart, though, when you make your stuff is that your characters are really relatable. And, I love the cartoon art style. It pops out. And the voice acting is phenomenal. It's like you can feel for your characters. You can actually feel for them. And that really is what draws you in.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. Yeah, no, I mean, there's so many things we learned from that project. Also, it's basically like, you know, since I'm Swedish, see, you can hear that. I can't even say Swedish. It's basically, you know, a lot of game companies from different countries. They would basically, okay, we're going to write our own script, you know, which, you know, we can come up with a funny sort of premise and all that, but I think it was very important for us, and I want to mention that too, why it turned out so good with voice acting, and is a lot because, like Ryan North, who's a great writer, he's of course Canadian, but he speaks English. You know, he's the
Sure.
guy who writes for Adventure Time comic book.
Yep.
He wrote the script, and if you have a great script, it's so much easier for the voice actors to act it. You know.
Yep.
And there's so many things, like I said, there's so many things that turned out really good there. You know, we got the right writer at the same time. We found some excellent voice actors. You know, that just clicked. You know, perfectly. You know. And we learned from that we're gonna. So that's kind of like what we're gonna try to do on every game we do. Have a great writer, work with a great writer who necessarily doesn't work in the game business, but is just really good at writing. You know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So the latest thing, Zombie Vikings, it's been out for a little while now. I know when I talked to you at PAX, you were looking to get that game out in July. I think the official release was in September, right? On PS4 was the first one to come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it came out for PC. And now it's going to be getting an Xbox One release pretty soon in the near future, hopefully. So, and a lot of our audience is, our Xbox fans. So I think a lot of them may not necessarily know too much about this game because, like, they're not really PS4 or PC gamers. But it's definitely something, I definitely think it has something that will be approachable for a lot of Xbox gamers and something that they'll want to do, being the brawler that it is, being, as you call it at PAX, the story brawler. So what has changed in Zombie Vikings since we talked to PAX? Like between March and September, did a lot change since that demo, or?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, of course, it was like a hell of a lot of levels that had to be done. You know.
Right.
It's quite too big a game almost for us. And then the other thing that was the thing that's been a lot of work with, of course, is all the cutscenes and all the just a lot of content, a ton of content. We figured out, we actually calculated how many, we usually work with, like you said, with a lot of voice actors and a lot of cutscenes, and we try to keep it a minimum in the gameplay, because you really want to have like nice chunk of gameplay and then be paid off with a little bit of story. But we still ended up with like almost 1 hour and 30 minutes just cutscenes. So it's like an entire movie, basically.
See, but it doesn't even feel that long, Klaus. Like, that's the good thing about your games, is that you get to a cutscene and it's not overly long, it's not too short. It gives you, enough of the story. And the same is true with Zombie Vikings. Like, even though the cutscenes feel like similar to the ones that Stick It to the Man, it's like you want to watch them still because it tells a good story. And
right. But I mean, so mainly what we're working on was, the thing that also changed for us was that once we, it was quite hard for us to get it out for September, because we had to release it. It was the PS4 version we had to release in September because we were part of something called the PlayStation Plus Vote to Play.
Yes.
So the vote to one had to be free. We didn't get voted, which was totally fine with us. There wasn't a problem, actually.
I voted.
I voted for Zombie Vikings. I think what won, guys? Like Grow Home or something?
Yeah.
Something stupid like that. Like Zombie Vikings destroys Grow Home. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Klaus. Sorry to interrupt.
But we were quite stressed because Sony were like, "Oh, you gotta get it out," and we wanted to get it out too because it was a big marketing push for us. And as a small indie developer, if you get a chance to actually get something visible through Sony, you just gotta really try to do it, because it's so hard to get seen out there,
Yeah.
So we fought really hard to get it out, but we did. We did get it. There was too many bugs in the games basically when we released it. We came out with a lot of, especially network bugs, because multiplayer is a pain in the ass, and that's something I think I underestimated. We all did underestimate in the team, that multiplayer and online multiplayer is just like, it's super hard. And I think it's hard for people who don't develop games to understand. Why didn't they just throw in multiplayer? This game would be so much better. It's so hard to understand, but it's super complicated. It is really, really. We basically voted like 50% of our programming time just on multiplayer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that took off like all the things we should have fixed and bug fixes and all that. That just had to let's get it out.
Yeah. Yep.
So since the September release, we basically went back and said, we're gonna have to improve it, because this is not it's not holding the quality we want it to be. So we spent like 3 months basically polishing it, adding sort of better single player mode. For example, we added that little, I don't know if you see the little unicorn pig.
Yes, I have seen the unicorn pig.
We call it sort of the major update. And what we did, we went back and said, oh, if you play single player, you get like this little cute unicorn pig that follows you around and does some throw skills with you and adds a little bit of extra gameplay features for you, the single player.
Sure.
And then we added sort of more characters you could fight. And we basically just polished it for bugs and make sure that it worked better. And what's cool about the Xbox version is, of course, that once it got to the Xbox, you will get like the perfect version, because we worked on it for a lot more. We added a lot more to it, and we polished it as much as we could. So
right. So of course, in the Xbox One version, you're gonna get the both character DLCs. There were 2 character DLCs, right?
Yeah.
Ray Bjorn and Frost Bjorn. Is that how to pronounce it?
Yeah, Ray Bjorn and Frost Bjorn. So Ray Bjorn is basically Ray from Stick It to the Man.
Yep.
But somehow, I don't know how it happened, but he got sent back in time, I guess. And then Frost Bjorn was actually a character we had in the game quite early on in a demo we had, but we couldn't really fit him into the story in a good way. But I thought he was still very funny, and people liked the way he looked, so we added him in there. And
Sure.
then me and I talked to Tim Schafer, which I'm pretty good friends with, from Double Fine, and I showed him the game, and he really likes it. And I of course love his games, And so I asked and I knew about they were going to do the Psychonauts 2
Yep.
game. And I thought, like, isn't there a way we can help each other? I can sort of promote yours, and I can get something. So I proposed that we're going to do like a version of Raz, but a zombie version of Raz in Zombie Vikings. So he's called Raz-Zombie.
Raz-Zombie, right? Raz-Zombie, yeah.
Right. So
That's cool, man. That's cool.
yeah, that was fun. Yeah, and he actually he was quite specific on what the special moves should be, and so that was quite fun to work with him on just designing all that. Yeah.
That's cool. I think console gamers especially, I'm not really sure about PC gamers, but I think console gamers especially like to see tie-ins with, other characters from other games that are like exclusive to their console. So, being able to throw in some sort of exclusive character from another game that, Xbox fans or PlayStation fans or whatever are familiar with.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, with the Wii U version, you're not going to be able to throw in, like, Mario Zombie. But, like, if there was something like that, like...
But we do have, actually, a couple ideas that we are talking to...
are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not sure yet, but something I wanted to do is that I'm talking to Bjorn at Image and Form. Do you know the guys at Image Form who does SteamWorld Heist and SteamWorld Dig?
Yes, yep.
Yes.
Yep, we do.
So we're talking about putting in Rusty from SteamWorld Dig in the Wii U version. Because he's really popular on 3DS, of course, and on the Wii U. So
Sure.
see if that works out. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be cool.
I don't know how to make him zombified because he's a robot, but
Right.
figuring out.
Yeah, it'll work somehow, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like a rusted robot or something with missing
super
parts.
rust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about the characters that are already in the game,
Yeah.
the 4 core characters, Hedgie, Kakar, Sigurd, and Gunborg, right? How did those come about? How were those determined to be the brawlers? I know, they're kind of just resurrected from the dead to get the eye back. But how did those ones become, the ones that you had in the game? Like, where did those ideas come from?
We kind of thought about, well, when we started the game, I worked together with a guy called Andreas, which you might have seen in some of our blog posts. He's actually doing a new art thing, a small, I don't know if you've seen, but we do like something called the Zoink show right now, every week now. So I tried to record something really small.
Yep.
And on Monday, he's going to do one about Stick It to the Man and the artwork of Stick It to the Man. So you can check that out, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Where do we find that out? On Twitch, or is that somewhere else?
We usually post on our Facebook site and on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it goes out on YouTube, but links to Twitter.
Yeah. I think I've seen it on YouTube. I don't think I've seen it on Twitch. So I was just wondering if you guys live broadcasted it.
Nah,
Okay.
We have to edit it after. We say a lot of stupid stuff, so we have to edit it.
Nice.
But he's always like sort of my creative sidekick. So he's doing. I mean, he did a lot of the art direction for Zombie Vikings, and he writes the script with me. And I mean, he's a super guy. He's really good at everything, you know.
Yep.
And usually it's me and Andreas. We sit down and we talk about what kind of character we wanted. And when we talked about Zombie Vikings originally, we wanted to be sort of like a buddy movie, you know, where.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, those kind of typical American movies where, like,
Yep.
bunch of kids gets into a car and they drive somewhere, you know, a road sort of buddy movie, and on the road there they get to know each other, they get to, you know, to evolve somehow, you know.
Yeah.
So then it's good when you have sort of like a group of characters. It's always good to find sort of different sort of personalities, and there's always the one who's the funny one, which is like Sigurd, you know.
Yep.
And then there's the one who's sort of negative but very smart, just caca, you know. And then you got like the stupid one, Hedgie.
Hedgie,
you know?
yep.
Like, he's kind of like an animal, you know.
Yep.
He is an animal.
He is an animal, yeah.
He is an animal, the animal from the Muppet Show too. And then, you know, Gunborg, of course, is just like the jock, you know, but the girl version, you know.
Yep.
Thought funny to play with. And it was just trying to find a dynamic of characters that sort of help each other out, you know. And originally, also, we were talking about since they had been dead for so long, we could decide that they come from different time periods, you know.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So originally, Hedgie was actually like, he was supposed to be like a caveman, you know, because he was from even before the Vikings, you know, so he was a caveman sort of creature. But then we thought, well, if it's so far away, he might as well just be some kind of weird troll that lived a long time ago, you know.
Right.
And it sort of tries to reflect into the story too. I'm not gonna spoil anything there.
Yeah.
But of course, the idea in the game is, of course, that you travel through this sort of journey, and then during that journey, you sort of find out where each character is from and what they've done in their previous life. You know? Yeah.
I like that. I think, you know, for a brawler game, you know, usually brawler games don't have a story. Like, brawler games just like walk right, beat some dudes up.
Yeah. The
arrow appears to keep walking right. You get to the end, you beat a guy, you beat up the boss, and you're on to the next thing. But this has got a main story. This has got side plots going. Each level has its own little side plot going on, and it's just like it's like reading a book. You know, it's like reading a book, or you're like watching a movie, but you know, you're playing it out. And that's what I love about these games from Zoink. I really do. It's just like you just get to experience so much more of the story and the inner workings of what, you know, the developers were thinking, and it's just way more creative than a lot of the crap that we get, you know, usually. So
thanks. Yeah.
I would just wanted to say that I really enjoyed playing it, and the side quests were amazing in the levels for a brawler, and you did a cartoon version of it that was really epic. I mean, that hasn't been done before. You know, not like this.
And I wanted to do side quests. I mean, the side quests itself, I wanted them to be a lot more elaborate. And I wish I'd had more time. But it is kind of hard when you. I mean, that's what we've noticed too, is like going from sticker to the man, where basically the gameplay tool you have there is moving these stickers around, you know, and you can sort of fit any story into that because you can do a lot of things with it. Like, you actually just move stickers, but you do something, you know.
Yep.
But here is basically the only tool you really have is basically hit somebody, you know, kill somebody, or stab somebody, or carry something, you know. And trying to come up with the sort of gameplay with that is really complicated, you know, because it's like you try to figure out a fun story with it, but it always ends up in a way being like, you know, I like the best ones. The side quest I like the best is basically, for example, the Blind Witch. I really like because she actually follows you. You know, there's I don't think it's spoiled too much, but there's a side quest, of course, where you sort of you try to save the Blind Witch, you know, and she wants to help you find a cat, and she can follow, but she can still follow you through the levels. She sort of originally we wanted you, if she actually got killed by the enemies coming in, you would actually lose the mission, but it got too hard basically. But I like the way the character sort of followed you, and came with you on the journey,
Mhm.
because it's became more part of the story. You know, that the story goes on as you play, and it just not chopped into sort of side, cutscenes, basically. You know.
Yep. Very cool. Assassin, you got any questions about Zombie Vikings? I know you were playing a lot of it this morning.
I just love the artwork. Who does the artwork? Because they definitely deserve like a promotion because it's just awesome.
Yeah. So it usually starts out with me and Andreas together. Specifically on this project, it was really Andreas Bayer, which is sort of like psychic. He sort of took over really strongly and took the project for the. I designed the characters, so I draw all the characters the way they are. Well, not all the characters. The main plot characters, the big characters, I design, and then, for example, all the playable characters. And together with Andreas, we came up with some original sort of looks. But then he sort of took over and designed everything else, you know. And then we've got another guy called Henrik. What is his name? Hold on, 1 second, just hold on. Henrik, he's like a super good, really good at painting, you know, so he can sort of render really, really nice colors. So usually what we do, me and we just basically do sketches and he paints over it and makes it really pretty, you know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work also getting it good when you put it into, it's all made in Unity 3D, which is like a 3D program, so there's a lot of work in there, just putting it in the right places. For doing artwork, it's a group of 3-4 people basically.
Sure.
Yeah.
Turtle, anything to say about this?
Not really, because unfortunately I have not had the opportunity to play the game yet.
I know you didn't get on that PS4 bandwagon. You gotta pick it up on Xbox now though. Now the Xbox one's coming. It's got all the DLC. It's got the new characters. It also has some new like hero stats. Tell us about that a little bit, Klaus. What are the hero stats that it's gonna have?
I'm not really totally into it yet either, but
okay.
And is that I guess it's something that's quite usual on Xbox. I'm not really a big Xbox player, you know. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all right. No problem.
But I think the way we'll understand it, it basically measures how many kills you had and how many loot you collected, and then put that together, and then you can sort of, you know,
like a leaderboard kind of thing, Klaus.
Probably like a leaderboard thing, yeah. So
Okay.
you can see how many your characters or your team has actually collected, you know, compared to your friends, basically. Yeah.
See, that's gonna get dangerous amongst us. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's good.
Me
Okay,
and
now I have no excuse not to get it now.
That's right. Me and Assassin are gonna be battling for that top spot. I'll tell you that right now. We were playing earlier this morning, Klaus, a little bit, just me and him, and at the end of the round when it measures up your kills and then adds on the loot to give you the total score to see who won. Whenever I'd beat Assassin, you'd hear on the microphone, "Oh."
It's funny how that little thing of just seeing somebody else beating you, how important that suddenly gets.
It is that competitive drive. It makes you just want to play more.
I know, it's insane. Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
But,
These two are going to be competing on the leaderboard, and I'm just going to slowly creep up behind them and take over.
probably.
Klaus,
what were we gonna say?
I just wanted to ask Klaus, do you have a favorite character in Zombie Vikings?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
I do really like Gunberg, but it's just because I really love the voice actor's voice. I think she has an awesome voice. I just really love her voice. I mean, obviously, Sigurd is great too. I mean, I think if I had to, at the least, it's maybe Kakar, but she's pretty cool. But
No, I love Kakar. I love the dive bomb ability. If you hold triangle, you do that little dive bomb. I love that.
Gunberg is my favorite. If I have to pick one,
Cool.
I'm forced.
A nice thing I like about this game too, that we kind of haven't talked about, is like the kind of RPG elements almost. We kind of saw it a little bit with Castle Crashers, but I think with this, it's a little more refined and a little more built up with the fact that you can unlock new weapons and they each have like little point stats like plus speed or plus damage and minus whatever, minus health or whatever. And with the ruins and stuff, I think that adding in that like RPG element also adds to the beat 'em up style of the game. Like it's not gonna be so repetitive going through each level because you're gonna have to be unlock new weapons to be stronger or that unlock new runes and stuff. So where did that idea come from? Like how did you guys figure out that you were gonna add something like that?
I think that was mostly Emil. Emil is the lead designer who came up with that, and he's a super hardcore, so that he loves playing tons of games, and it was his idea to put that in there. I guess he also looked at probably Castle Crashers, which had that. I think one thing we learned from that is that when we released the original on PS4, we had that all the weapons were actually there, but you couldn't afford them, and you had to collect loot to buy them, basically. And there wasn't that many stats available. You couldn't really see +1 or +2 or anything like that.
Yeah.
We got a lot of feedback from people saying, "Well, we don't understand. Is this one better than this or whatnot? Or there's too many weapons. I don't, when you saw all of them, they were some people felt it was a little bit, overwhelming to see all of them at once. So we actually changed that in an update where we added more stat information, and we also changed that you had to play certain levels to actually unlock the weapons. So over time, you get more and more weapons into the shop, basically.
Sure. Yeah.
And of course, that feature, the way that's set up, is also going to be the same way it's set up in the Xbox version. So.
Cool. Klaus, you got anything else about Zombie Vikings? I know you're the one. Klaus did the review for us on the site that you guys liked. I think it was a very appropriate review. I think
that was a nice review.
I've seen. I mean, honestly, it's not even overblown though. I know, it a 9.5 out of 10 is a really good score, but there are some other reviews out there that like do not give this game like the proper recognition that it deserves. Like it's not just a beat 'em up. I mean, it really isn't. You can play it one time for 2 hours and realize it's not just simply a beat 'em up. So
yeah, I know. We had some reviews that were really bad, so we definitely need some to weigh in the other directions.
Well, I mean, it's just so unique, and I can't believe that a lot of people that looked at it as a review standpoint didn't see that. There's just so many unique aspects of this game that make it amazing, and that's why I love it so much. I mean, Klaus, if you guys had stuffed animals of these Zombie Vikings, I would buy them for my daughter because I love this game so much.
Oh, cool. I really wanted to. I personally really would love to have like the pig. The
the unicorn pig. Yep.
I want to have the unicorn pig like this size.
We would too. Put it out there. We're buying it.
Yeah.
You guys are looking maybe to possibly spin this off into like an animated series. I think I saw on your Twitter.
It's funny you say that. Yeah. No. Yeah. It was because I was actually. It's annoying. I was sick the last 2 days. Actually, I got sort of like a stomach flu thing.
Yeah.
And then when you're at home, which is one cool thing about being sick, is you get some time to sit there and think,
Sure, yeah.
At the same time, you're like in a fever. You're like, oh man, it would be cool to do this,
Yeah.
And
so you're trying to tell me that was kind of
that was
a little fever, a little fever kind of. So you're not actually going to do the animated series?
No, it's not true though. I am actually talking. I'm talking to this guy in Hollywood right now. Who's actually, I can't say who it is, but they do sort of like TV series, but more like sort of YouTube TV series, basically,
Oh, okay.
And for a while, I wanted to do the same thing. I thought it'd be really cool. Because one thing, I saw that we could do, like we've done a lot of animation in the game, and a lot of people tell us they're really good quality, and why don't we do sort of a YouTube series, So I talked to this guy and showed him the game, and he was overwhelmed by the game, Of course, he's from Hollywood, so I don't know what it means,
Right.
Thing,
Yeah. No, I understand that.
But I'm talking to them, and we'll see what happens, because I think I would love to do it. It's just so hard to see how do you make money out of that? How does anybody make money? I mean, you know how it is when you're making a podcast and all that. How do you,
yeah, please. The money, the money's dry, baby. The money's dry. We're doing it for the love.
It's like everybody expects everything to be free, so how do you even get people to pay for a TV series or YouTube series, something like that? It's hard enough to get people to pay for your game,
Right. Yep.
So I would love to do it. I just have to find a way to make sure we can afford it, basically.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
One way to do it is, of course, to try to do some kind of, Kickstarter or Patreon thing or something like that.
Yeah.
I would love to do it. It'd be really fun.
I say throw it up on Kickstarter, see what the response is like, because these games, these games have a cult following. Stick It to the Man. You can find some dedicated people out there, that have a cult following for that game. And I'm sure the same is for Zombie Vikings. You probably could raise some money. I'm sure you should probably do it on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I should try.
I actually remember. It's funny that this was brought up because I remember months ago, whenever Stick It to the Man was released on the PS4, I remember playing it and thinking to myself, I would actually watch an animated series of this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be cool if it could be interactive a little bit,
Yeah, definitely. Any last questions for Klaus before we let him get out of here? We've already been 41 minutes. It's been a quick.
It doesn't feel like it feels like 20 minutes.
I know it doesn't feel like 41 minutes, but
it's fun. I got chocolate, so no problem.
No, there you go. Klaus, you got anything more about Zombie Vikings?
I mean, all I can keep saying is that I love the game. I mean, I love everything that you guys have done from Stick It to the Man, and I just can't wait to see what comes from you guys next. I mean, you guys are awesome.
It's super nice to hear that, because honestly, it's weird because when you work with the game, you don't often get people, you don't really get that much feedback. You only get to see reviews, and they're not always that good, because it depends on who reviews it.
Sure.
It really means a lot to hear it. It really does. It helps us a lot to just go on to the next one, So, thanks.
Absolutely. And, I don't know if you guys can do this or not, or if it's even possible, but we play Rocket League a lot as well. And I would love to see Zombie Viking decals in Rocket League. I don't know if that would ever be possible. Maybe.
Or like the little, Have you ever played Rocket League, Klaus? Do you know what that is?
Oh, yeah, love it. Yeah, I love it. It's one of the few real online games that I actually play.
Yeah. Aside from Zombie Vikings, of course,
right?
Play
it all the
time. But no, it would be cool to have like a Zombie Vikings antenna thing. Like one of the characters, maybe put Hedgie up there, or
that would be cool, like a big fluffy hair thing.
Yeah. I think that would be really cool.
I would love to do it. It's just question is, I guess it's a question for the guys who does Rocket League if they want it,
Yeah.
We should figure it out. I should ask them. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? Exactly. Right. Compared to Stick It to the Man. How would you rate the success of Zombie Vikings? Like, do you think Zombie Vikings was as successful, or it's like time will tell still because you haven't released it on all platforms? Or initially, like, how do you think Zombie Vikings is doing? Like sales wise,
Yeah, no, I don't think it's doing good enough yet. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, the time we put into it, for example, compared to Stick It to the Man, we put so much more time into Zombie Vikings because one of the things that it is online, it is 4-player, and it is so much more work to actually doing 4 players than just 1 player.
Sure.
And
especially since the 4 players in your game can come together and be that one monster player.
Yeah.
And you can also, pick everybody up on a totem pole and throw them and all this stuff. The interactivity, it's not just 4 people walking around.
There's so many ways it can be done. It's like, we had so many problems with the camera, for example, that the camera should be able to control, how many are they now? They're just 1 player. No, they're 2 players. Oh, they're 4 players. So what's this character doing over there? What are we going to show? Well, how are we going to move the camera? And it's been really complicated technically. It took a long time. So it was harder to do and took a longer time to do this game than it was to Stick It to the Man. and we are not selling good enough yet. You know, we're not there. So it is. It's definitely been a sort of like a not a disappointment because you can't go out and expect anything from gamers. You know, it's really up to yourself what you do. If it doesn't sell, it's it's just how it is. You know, but I still think like I said, when you release a game, I mean, people still ask us for review codes for Stick It to the Man, and that's been out for like 3 years now. So
Sure. Yeah.
For a game like this, it's not like it just disappears. You know, I think it can slowly get back up where it should be. You know.
Right. Right. And the Xbox thing.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we love Xbox, so like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna just tell you, I think releasing on Xbox is gonna be a great thing for you guys. I think, especially since, in my opinion, I don't know about these other guys, but in my opinion, I think it's easier to see when new games release on Xbox. You know, especially like indie, like smaller studio games. I don't want to keep calling you indie because you said you're not, but smaller studio.
Because I get away with a lot of shit, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. But like, I think on Xbox, like, there's a distinct like new release section that's really easy to see, and sometimes you can get featured on like the homepage of the Xbox, stuff like that. So I think more people are gonna, engage us when it comes to Xbox. They're gonna be more willing to check it out. I think. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I don't know.
No, it's true. I mean, it is better when some markets are just too crowded. Like Steam right now, like releasing a game on the phone or something like that. It's just there's too many games out there. It's really hard to be seen.
Right.
So I hope definitely. I mean, I'm really looking forward to releasing on the Xbox too. So,
right.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, Assassin or Turtle or Clowns? Do you think that's true? Do you think Xbox it's like easier to see the new releases, or am I just like home?
Well, I think with Xbox is that for companies that are not like I want to say like multi-trillion-dollar big organizations, ID at Xbox really promotes like the smaller games really well. So I think ID at Xbox would be good for Zombie Vikings, and it'd be right on the store, and it'd be advertised properly. I think, I'm not gonna knock any other systems because we play them all, but I just think that some of the other systems might be like overcrowded sometimes, or like so many titles might come out at the same time. And I think right now Xbox has a lot smaller market, unfortunately for us fans, but I just think it will shine more there because of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's not like we need to sell a ton of games. We just need, compared to other games, we just need to make sure that we just don't go minus every time.
Sure, yeah.
Next,
Yeah.
So, we don't need to be a hit. We just need to sell.
Right.
Normally.
Right. Assassin, any final things about Zombie Vikings?
Well, I just wanted to thank you guys because a few months ago I was lucky enough to win some concept art.
What?
Show that a little higher. We didn't even see it on your webcam.
That's one of my favorites, actually. I drew that one.
Oh, well,
Maybe
thank you.
That. Yeah. I actually have a T-shirt with it too.
Yeah, where can we get the Zombie Vikings swag? I remember you at PAX. You had that cool Zombie Vikings T-shirt. Where can we get some of that?
I can send you a link. There's actually they're called Designed by Humans. Might be on our Facebook site too. But the Designed by Humans, we have lots of different T-shirt designs you can order from. So I try to post a couple of pictures up there sometimes. So I think there's like 10 different images right now you can put on T-shirts, basically.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely getting one.
Yeah, and I just want to say for anybody watching this, Zoink Games is a really cool company. Make really great stuff. Klaus is a really awesome guy. Everybody else on his team is really awesome. And they actually listen to your feedback. Like he mentioned in the show, is that they took advice and feedback and fixed, what gamers wanted. And that's really cool.
Yeah. It's very important to us, definitely.
And this guy is the CEO and creative director of the company, and he was at PAX East talking to anyone who wanted to talk to this guy.
It's the best thing. It was so much fun at PAX because you actually got it's not often you get to see actually people who never played the game sit down and just play. And we were in a perfect spot. There were so many people just playing the game. Even little kids came up and tried the game, and it was just really fun to see. And it's a perfect game to have on a convention too. 4-player.
Sure, yeah.
This everybody loves that. But
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about the whole, for me, it's really not just we have I'm really conscious about that the game has to be good. And if somebody complains about it, I mean, I honestly, if I get a really bad review, I cry. I do,
I'm sure it's your baby. Yeah.
It's super important that it has to work out well and everybody's going to like it, So we really want to make sure that everybody plays the game. And if they give feedback, we take it very seriously, yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. So I think that's it. Unless you guys have any more about Zombie Vikings.
I actually have one question.
Oh yeah, please.
Regarding the Xbox version, is there a plan for a physical release along with the PS4?
I have already tried to get something going with that, and it has not been very easy actually. I want to do it because I really like physical releases because I think it's cool to have, especially when you like a game a lot. It's cool to have it like in a box because it feels like it's real.
Definitely, yep.
And I really wanted to do that, but there's a couple of rules. I can't talk too much about it, but there's a couple of rules that makes it a little bit more complicated with Xbox.
Sure.
To PlayStation, which we're doing right now, or if we did a PC version. PC version is always quite simple because there's no fees. But the Xbox was a little bit more complicated, so I haven't had any. To do that, I have to find a publisher to help me with it, and I haven't had any luck with that yet.
So for Stick It to the Man on the physical release, you guys it was Ripstone who published it, or?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And that wasn't the Xbox either.
No, it wasn't for Xbox, just PlayStation, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember walking into my Best Buy and I saw Stick It to the Man on the shelf, and I was like, "Are you shitting me? Like, I can't believe this is on the shelf." Yeah. Oh yeah, it's there. It's there.
That's good that it came out. I mean, you never know if it actually gets out in the shops, but that's cool to hear.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it there. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So yeah, before we let you get out of here, you got some new projects in the pipeline. I know you can't tell us, what they are exactly, but you guys have some new stuff you guys are working on.
Have you guys seen the? I can talk a little bit about one. Have you guys seen the hidden demo that's inside Zombie Vikings? So,
I personally have not. Klaus, have you?
Nope. It's a secret basically. But if you finish up one of the side quests in the game, you'll actually get. Have you seen the witch called Molgaga?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a place where in Fishguard, where Molgaga is actually trying to get a new boyfriend because she's not going to hang out with Loki anymore.
Yes.
And if you help her get a really hot date, which means you have to actually lure one of those, Vikings over to her cauldron. If you do that, she'll give you a mushroom. If you eat that mushroom, we will actually kind of throw you into a demo, a prototype. I would more call it a prototype of our new game. So there's a hidden prototype of our new game inside Zombie Vikings.
That is cool. I'm going to be looking out for that from now on. Assassin, don't let me forget that when we're playing later.
I'm gonna write it down.
You better write it down.
See, this is the stuff I love about you guys, like these little hidden things that just make your stuff stand apart from everybody else's.
It's true. It really is.
If you YouTube it, you might find something. There's some people who put some stuff up.
See, Assassin, we can YouTube it if we have to cheat and figure out how to do it.
And Klaus, I just wanted to say, Assassin the other day was talking, and Valentine's Day is coming up, and he was just wondering if he can get a message from Molgaga. He wants to be the hot date.
Not a problem. I'll talk to her.
Nice. All right.
Grab a cauldron first, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's fine. You probably do have a cauldron, don't you? Assassin's from Wisconsin, so he's way up north, so he probably has a cauldron.
No, I don't.
All right, well, Klaus, thank you for dropping by for this interview. Sorry I went a little over what we advertised, but we really appreciate you coming on, talking about your company, talking about the success of Stick It to the Man, and of course the new game Zombie Vikings coming out soon for Xbox. Look out for it very soon. Hopefully not too far away. No confirmed date though, right, Klaus?
A couple months.
Couple months. Look for it in a couple months. You guys will not be disappointed. I swear to you. We'll definitely be broadcasting it to show off a little more of the game and advertising it because we really do love it. Like we stand behind it for sure. So, but yeah, thanks for dropping by, Klaus. Tell us where we can find you and your company on the web.
Yeah, so if you want to check us out, we're basically at zoinkgames.com. So that's Zoink Games. So it's Zoink Games on Twitter. It's Zoink Games on Facebook. If you want to follow me specifically, I'm Klaus. So it's Klaus. Lingulets. It's super hard to find, but just follow Zoink Games. That's probably a lot easier. So.
And of course zoinkgames.com for more pictures of the game or stick it to the man and to keep up on the stuff that they're working on for the future.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we do like a blog every week, and we do the Zoink Show, which is basically just stuff about the games we do and our development and goofy things around the company. So there's a lot of things to see.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks again, Klaus. We're going to end it here. Hopefully you can enjoy some of that chocolate before you got to go home.
Yeah.
What time is it in Sweden right now, by the way?
It's 7 o'clock in the evening right now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I'm going to go home and get a beer.
Awesome.
It's nice and warm in Sweden.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right. All right, Klaus, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Hope I see you at PAX, though.
Yeah, no, I'll be there. So I'll look out for you.
Excellent. Thanks, guys.
All right, see you guys.